When you think of Nepal, you probably picture the Himalayas. But right now, a different kind of landscape is taking shape there, a digital one. The big question is, can Nepal navigate this new terrain and transform itself into a regional tech hub? Let's dig in. This metaphor really hits the nail on the head. On one side, you have these massive geographical and economic barriers. But on the other, there are these incredible natural advantages that could literally change everything. It's this story of huge potential, but also significant risk. So, the government has this really bold vision for a digital future. But how does that ambition actually compare to what businesses and citizens are dealing with day to day? That's the core of what we're exploring. What's the real story on the ground? We're going to start by looking at what we're calling the digital paradox. It's this huge gap between the official story you hear and what people are actually experiencing. And look, the ambition is all there, right? It's written down in the Digital Nepal framework. This is the government's official plan to use technology to supercharge everything from finance to farming. On paper, it's exactly the kind of bold vision you want to see. And if you just looked at the numbers, you'd think, wow, they've already done it. An internet penetration rate of over 144%. Now, that number is a little misleading because it's really driven by people having more than one SIM card. Still, on the surface, it looks like pretty much everyone is connected. But here's where that paradox kicks in. While the official stats look great, the reality for businesses is, well, it's pretty rough. Over a third of them are dealing with frequent internet outages. And these aren't just little annoyances. They add up to an average loss of 2.1% of annual sales. So it turns out access doesn't mean a whole lot if it isn't reliable. So what's causing this disconnect? To really get it, we need to break down the specific challenges that businesses in Nepal are up against, day in and day out. Well, this shaky connectivity forces a really tough choice on businesses when it comes to the cloud. Do you go with a local provider to get that super low latency, we're talking under 10 milliseconds, and pay in your local currency? Or do you go with a global giant like AWS for near infinite scale, but have to deal with high latency and paying in US dollars? Every option has a major downside. And what that means is, for any serious company in Nepal, a hybrid cloud isn't some fancy strategic choice. It's a basic necessity. You keep your critical, fast response apps on local servers, and you push all the heavy lifting like AI training out to the global cloud. It's the only way to make it work. And the problems don't stop with the internet. The power grid is flaky, the entire country is in a major earthquake zone, which means a proper data center needs a fortune spent on resilient construction. Then you add in a huge shortage of IT talent. Get this, a staggering 91% of adults lack basic digital skills, and a whole lot of uncertainty around data laws, and you've got a perfect storm of obstacles. But, and this is a huge but, buried underneath all of these challenges is an incredible, game-changing opportunity. An asset so powerful it could not only solve some of these problems, but give Nepal a real competitive edge on the world stage. Think about Nepal's geography for a second. Yes, it's the source of that seismic risk. But those same mountains, those same rivers, they provide something else. Something so powerful it could totally redefine the country's economic future. This number right here is the key. 42,000 megawatts. That's how much hydropower potential Nepal is sitting on. In an age where AI and data centers are consuming an insane amount of power, this is like sitting on a gold mine of clean, 100% renewable energy. This energy advantage just flips the script. It creates this massive opportunity for Nepal to become the go-to spot for sustainable, green data centers. And this isn't just about being eco-friendly, it's a huge economic incentive for tech giants who are obsessed with hitting their carbon neutrality goals. You combine that cheap, clean power with natural, high-altitude cooling, and suddenly your operating costs plummet. It's a very compelling business case. And this quote just says it all. The old way is to export raw electricity to your neighbors. That's a low-value commodity game. The new, smarter way is to use that energy right at home to power high-value services. In effect, you're exporting computing power, not just kilowatts. Okay, so the potential is there. It's huge. But how does Nepal actually grab this opportunity? Well, it's going to take a coordinated effort from everyone, businesses, tech providers, and the government. Let's look at what that path looks like. All right, if you're a business operating in Nepal, the playbook is pretty clear. First, you have to embrace that hybrid reality.
But even more important, you've got to invest in your people. That skills gap is a massive barrier, so training and certifications are absolutely non-negotiable. And finally, start small with the cloud to keep costs down, and then scale up as you grow. Now, for the local tech providers, you have to play to your unique strengths. That 100% green angle, it should be everywhere in your marketing. Don't try to be another AWS. Instead, specialize in things where location is an advantage, like ultra-low latency services. And crucially, prove you're reliable. Invest in those seismic certifications and shout about them from the rooftops to build trust.
The government's job here is really to clear the path. That means making it easier for public and private sectors to work together on infrastructure. It means using public money to bring down internet costs for everybody, and it means providing clear, predictable rules about data. But maybe the most fundamental piece is tackling that skills gap at a national level, starting from the ground up. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this single question. The path to becoming a data exporter is definitely the harder one. It's full of challenges, but it's also the path that leads to a modern, sustainable economy and a really unique role in the global tech scene. The choice Nepal makes now is going to define its future for a long, long time.